So, this is Bob the Brick. Say hello to Bob. He was the test vehicle, really, before the stream, so just to see that you could actually build something in automation. Also, this, for some bizarre reason, doesn't want to go. Let's just control R. There, now it's going. It's very heavy. It's got a unitary chassis, also very loud. And it has a lot of understeer and a mid-mounted V10 with a carburetor. It was basically the Wheels ideas, and I put it into car form. And so we're going to do that again, because this car is obviously the most brilliantly designed thing in the world. It also has struts, front and rear, very high-end. But anyway, yeah, let's see what chaos the wheel can create in this glorious world of Auto Beam. So let's see what this comes up with. Let's see what body it gives me. High Performance Sport Small. This should be interesting then. So I should be able to just remove a wheel like that. There we go. High Performance Sport Small. I can just leave that on the wheel, to be honest. It makes it easier to see what I've got. So we're looking at body type. We're going to want sport. We're looking at more of a supercar here, but a small one. So this should be interesting. I think it shows up under coupe. Now, I don't know how large you're going to look. That's 2.6, so that's more medium, I think. We're looking something small. This, I think it's the Honda, is it? What do they call it? It escapes me. We also have that. I would say that's fairly small. A little bit more like an Aston Martin, though. We're looking for high performance. And as far as high performance small bodies, is it the Honda... Not the Honda Beat. That was the 90s version. This looks like... Yeah, that's got a smaller version. I think I did select it so it supports different engines. Engine position. I think that's showing, yeah. It's hidden by my Ahoge, but they are all ticked. So we've got that. 2.3. I quite like this one, actually, as well. That looks like a supercar. Just a miniaturized version. And this, even. So there's a few bodies we can use. I don't know exactly where to go yet, but we do have actually a good choice of bodies. So it's obvious, that's, I think, more of an MX-5. So I think we have, like, 3 major choices. We have this, we have this one, and we have this one. This one's smaller, so I'm going with this one just because it's, like, one of the smallest. Yeah, I think that is the smallest I can get of this type of body. So I'm going with this one. At least lengthwise, it's short. I don't know about other means. It might still be quite wide, but it's short. That's the important thing. What year is it, actually, I wonder? I think it's quite recent, 09, so given the game maxes out at 2020, in automation terms, it is pretty small. Now, I need to bring back the wheel. At the same time, it did say a sports car, or a high-performance sports car, and how we're left with these really small high-performance sports cars, they are mid-engine, so I'm just not given much choice due to the problem it's given me before. I tried the 3 bodies that were really relevant, in case one of them would give me a front engine chance. It didn't, so at least I think this means we're not getting leaf swings. We should get a very good car as a result of that, but we only need 1 or 2, because they're the numbers available. So let's see. Got quite a light body and a light chassis. We've got, yeah, the chassis is aluminium, there's no choice there. We've got a transverse engine, which may work out well, depending on what engine it gives me. Either longitudinal would be better or transverse would be better. I think transverse is pretty good. Pushrod front suspension and double wishbone rear. Not the meanest it could have been. It gave me pretty good suspension front and rear, even if it is a little mismatched. Can we get something good? Number 2? Just about number 2. So we're going with a manual soft top. I think it's got detachable soft top and manual soft top, as you can see. It's got, also the wheel has to go for now. I think manual soft top is like, it's attached, but you have to slide it back manually. And automatic's got motors and stuff. And detachable, I think it's just like a panel you can take off kind of thing. So we've actually got a very realistic car here. I would say, aside from a push-rod front suspension, that would in real life be McPherson's struts on this kind of car. But, or maybe double wishbone, given there's not a lot of height there. But at least this has given me a surprisingly realistic build. I do also need to change the manufacturer to Wheel. Can't forget that. What I'll call it later will be a thing, but we have to call it Wheel because that is the brand. Wheel has developed this car. High Flake, perhaps? I like this blue, actually. So we've got that. That blue looks pretty good. I would go with chrome, but I don't know. I feel like that's kind of plasticky looking at the top. So if we get this is where I do have some freedom. I mean, I'm not going to go crazy at the moment. I'm just going to get some trim and stuff running. So all trim panels. Don't know if that tweaks the chassis and everything. So that is one option. We can make it all blue paint, but I don't think that looks good. What I could do, potentially, because, you know, Core 2 Duo, so we like the blue and silver here. Now, aluminium, maybe? It's made of fiberglass, so that's not going to be the best. If we could go with, I think, paint, but if we go with, like, a greyish silver type colour, maybe high flake, but less shine. Mid-flake, perhaps? Yeah, I think mid-flake, maybe mid-shine. Just go for this overall, like, aluminium type look, and it suits the whole Core 2 Duo thing. I can do something with a soft top as well to make it, like, vaguely match the whole ordeal a little better. So we've got that. Don't know, I'm not naming this. I don't know. Just name it Core 2 Duo Silver, for lack of a better term. I do like that colour, though. So then we can go, hopefully rename this. Core 2 Duo. I'm just really branding a colour that isn't mine. But anyway, I own these colours now. They are mine. So we're also going to have to go with a soft top, as I said, I think mentioned before. The trim and the chassis have ended up as that silver. Yeah, it did say change all, but I wasn't so sure. So where's the trim? Ah, so that's a trim inside the wheels, is it? So we've got carpet as well. I'll reset these three because I don't think they need to be the Core 2 Duo Silver. I mean, I should have just paid more attention, but I didn't. So the carpet, that can be reset. So have I... Yeah, I adjusted the wrong trim there, but no less, no harm done. I've got this working, I think. As I say, if I can get this roof to match my whole Core 2 Duo aesthetic, I will be more than happy with this. Because, like, the blue and silver, it's kind of inverse, because I think, like, the blue should go at the bottom, if I remember correctly. No. Yeah, the silver's at the bottom and the blue is at the top, but I think on this particular car, we want it the other way around. The wheels, I don't know, okay, so... We're going to go back to that later, because whether it's alloys or not, that's going to be another matter. I can make Steelies work, though. I could just go with hubcaps if it does so decide I have to go with Steelies. So that's not the end of the world. We've got the roof, okay. So we're going to go on the soft top somewhere. There we go, soft top. So I should be able to go with like a more greyish soft top, which should kind of blend. That one blends pretty well, I think, with the rest of the colour. You can't change a lot here, but that works. So I'm going to name this Core 2 Duo Soft Top, which isn't a very imaginative name, but it lines up. So there we go. I think this is looking so far pretty good. I'm going to put alloys on it for now, just to finish a look, but I can change them later. Okay, we're going to go with some kind of all-wheel drive. This can work still. Maybe it's... I feel like maybe it's going to end up more luxurious than I'd initially expected, but still, we have got the winner being some kind of all-wheel drive. So we've got 1, 2, 3. There's 5. Yeah, there's 5 of these are all versions of all-wheel drive. So that's why I have to do 2 spins here to try and get this thing to be fair. Are we going to go? Oh my. I think it started being cruel. We're going with a 4x4 system, which does not suit this type of vehicle at all. It's like the one driveline that I just don't see working on this. So we've got under 4 litres of engine. You know what? This is going to work. It's going to be a fairly light car for what it is. Why is the wheel being so kind? I feel like it's just waiting for something to go wrong kind of ordeal. And if that's the case, I fear what it's planning. I fear what the wheel is plotting because it's been so kind to me so far. Like, the 4x4 system is a little unconventional, but if I just hide the wheel. So that's a little unconventional. That's the only thing it's done thus far. That's a bit strange. Everything else, it actually makes sense. Like, I would perhaps try building a car myself this way. If I was just going for a high-end supercar, I would try these very settings. That's what's crazy. It's not doing anything really out there. So we've got a low-end crankshaft, a very cheap low-end crankshaft. We've got pretty good sporty conrods. We've got pretty good pistons as well. And then we've got the cheapest balancing mash you could possibly put on this engine. So that's quite a combination, I think. I'm going to just leave quality on 0 for everything because it makes things easier. Okay, so they're all things you can slide. I'm not going to let you choose the sliders because I want the engine to at least start and drive. So we've got, yeah, so 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. That's going to be a wheel thing to decide whether we have any kind of variable valve timing. So far, I can't complain too much. It could have done a lot worse. Okay, naturally aspirated. I think that's going to work the best, to be honest. It's maybe going to make the least power, but it means we're not messing around with superchargers and turbos and stuff, and it's just going to work. So we can also skip all this stuff. Carburetor or injection? Of the carburetors we could have, we're getting a 4-barrel, which is the highest end technology available. And now, of these, we have 1, 2, and 3. So we have single, twin, or triple carburetor. Let's see how many we'll get, because if there's a lot of carburetors, if we like get triple carburetors, that's almost as good as fuel injection, and I spoke too soon. I said 3 would be almost as good as fuel injection, and it gave me 1. It gave me, like, the worst one it could have possibly given me. Yeah, the wheel is invisible. So, that's something. yeah, it's all the wheel's fault this car is going to be bad. At least, look. At least we're not stuck with a single barrel carburetor, or worse, an eco, where it's just not going to let any air in. At least it's a 4-barrel, so I can ramp up the carb size and get some air into the engine. I mean, this is a very interesting engine. And what I find more interesting, before it gave me a V10, and it decided to have a carburetor on it, it's done the exact same thing here. It's given me 10 cylinders. Well, I didn't have a V option there, but when I tried it out before, but it did choose 10 cylinders, and it did choose a carburetor. Crazy that it should do that twice in a row. You know, like, it could have gone with fuel injection here, or it could have gone with a V8 here, but it didn't. So we're going with... oh, you know what? I'm going to leave this up to a wheel because it'll be funny. So this is the fuel it uses. We'll either get lucky and we'll get, like, nitromethane, which I think is really high-end fuel, race fuel, or we're going to just get leaded gasoline, which is, let's just say they replaced it with unleaded for a reason. It's not exactly good for the environment. It's actually kind of middling for fuel, to be honest. It could have been a lot crueler than it was. Oh. It started being cruel again. It's like a... okay, I'll just show this now. So, you'll see the fuel we've got, okay? It's like, have some nice fuel. I feel like being nice to you. And then it's like, oh, you've had too much niceness. I'm just going to give you the absolute worst intake manifold I can, so you get no air into the engine and it makes no power. This is a strange engine. Because, again, the most of it is good, but there's just a few very odd decisions, which I guess is to be expected. And why does it keep settling on 1? I'm sure it chooses 1 unfairly over all the other numbers. It must be wigged. The wheel I've got on this PC, it must be wigged. Actually, I have the results up here. Yeah, so here there's a section where it's like 1565, 112, 115, 1331. Why are you using ones so many times? So many ones in that like list. So here we have the setup. I think I should be able to hear the sound now. We're actually making quite good power. I was not expecting that. The crankshaft is the limit. Like 7,500 RPM. I might be able to change in the setting. Yeah, nice airflow. I don't think anyone said nice airflow about this car. So we've got, let's see how this thing sounds. Does it sound good? Seems to make no power up until the very end of the rev range, but it does sound pretty good. Oh, the transmission. This is chance for the wheel to wreak havoc. Before it actually gave me a dual clutch 7-speed, so it wasn't too cruel there. This suddenly goes from being like a pretty modern and decently set up sports car to having the transmission that seems like it's from the 1950s. Because 3-speed autos were actually pretty common in the 1950s and 60s in large American cars. So yeah, that's what we've got in our little sports car. Something from a big American boat. What differential do we want? So we've got 7 options here. Okay, we have a winner. Who could predict it was going to be another number 1? It really does like number 1. Okay, so now, this is where things start getting even more interesting than before. We've not got a sports car or a supercar like transmission. We've got what looks like it's trying to imitate a muscle car from the 1960s. Okay, that is not sports car stuff. Are we going to get cross plies? Just for perspective, cross plies are what cars used to use, but into the 1970s, and especially in the 1980s, pretty much everything had moved away from cross ply, because that means there's no like metal ring in the tires to stop them like squashing down when you go around the corner. Yeah, that I feel like it's going to be cruel here. I feel like it's going to be very cruel and just give me some kind of cross plies. Rally tires. Are we just building a 70s rally car here? So it's got 4x4, like a 4x4 system commonly used in like off-road Jeeps and Land Rovers and stuff. At least the older ones. We've got cross-ply tyres, but rally tyres. I'm pretty sure at this point it's just turning into a 1970s group something or other rally car. I don't memorise the groups that well. But yeah. Now, are we going to get steel wheels? Because I think I might just run into the... I might lean into the whole rally car thing if it's got a rim material that is steel. So we've got alloys. Okay, that's a good option. Alloys were a thing in the 70s though. They were like the big new technology, but they were very much a thing in the 70s. The more I see it, the more it goes along those lines. I'm definitely just at this point going to lean into it. So if I go with trim and body aesthetics, we now know what kind of wheels we're going to go with. 60 to 79 Sport. You know what? Torque thrusts, they're like classic muscle car wheels. I think, personally, if I'm going for a 70s rally car, I need something like Mini Light style, which would be these. That's odd. They don't display correctly, but the 4-lug version of the exact same wheel do. So that's what I'm going to be using. Very strange. Very strange, that is. I think I can make this work, though, as you see. Especially if I change the front end so it doesn't look so modern. I think I can get something running here. There is also no mandatory requirement for making the wheels a certain size. So I can make them 15s. I think 16s work, which are actually the same size as my IRL car has 15s. I can actually make them quite wide as well, even though they're cross plies, which is interesting. I wonder if it's because they're technically race tyres. Because I remember the thing about cross-plies and how they're set up, you typically can't make them that wide. Maybe the race ones are different. You know what it's probably going to do now? It's probably going to give me carbon ceramics on the rear or something just to mess me up and make sure it has loads of brake force on the rear but none at the front. Yeah, I spoke too soon. I spoke too soon. This is terrible. This is absolutely terrible. I'm going to have to go with the number of pistons as well on the brakes for this because of the technology and stuff. It has brake pistons. So we're going to go... Are you going to make me have 6 piston carbon ceramics? Please give me a 1 now, if any time. I'll take a 2. It's better. It's just these drum brakes on the front, and then it looks like it's got no brakes on the back because they're carbon ceramics, and that's the only ever way I'm going to balance out the terrible and brilliant brakes. I do want to lean into the GT70 thing though still. So seats, I think we'll keep them at 2. I mean, I don't see any reason to ask for a wheel about that. So we've got 7 options. Let's see. Let's see how the interior is going to end up. Please, 1 here because it'll be lightweight. Yes, for once you gave me a 1 when I needed the 1. You know what? It could be a lot worse. So we've got 1. A basic interior will be very lightweight, so I can't complain about it. Okay, I'll take this. It's giving me ABS. It seems Wheel Kun is actually back to being kinda nice to me because variable hydraulic steering and ABS, that's good. You don't need traction control, especially when you're given all-wheel drive to help put it down. Do we get advanced safety? Because quite frankly, you're probably going to need a lot of advanced safety in this. Yeah, you get advanced safety. Thank goodness, because this car is probably going to be a death trap. Like, it's even got a soft top. So having advanced safety is, like, going to save it. Hydro pneumatic. Oh, that's brilliant. We've got Citroen suspension. Because I've got hydraulics. It only has twin tube dampers available, so I'll skip that. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and then we've got 4 options here. Yeah, so my Citroen has hydro pneumatic, so I like this option. It's chosen what's clearly the best option, and it's even given me active sway bars. This is good. I like this. So at least if we check here, like, this is pretty good stuff here. Like, hydro pneumatic, I would argue, is up there with air. Yeah, for now I might as well just call it wheel car. I called the other one, I can't remember, I think I called the other one Bob the Brick. I think the vents are pointing the right way. So this will do for now. It's not ideal, but I think I've got as good as I'm going to get. No interior for now. But I do think it looks crazy, it looks fun, and it's got like 2 little Easter eggs for the wheel on, or 3 I guess if you include the badges. So this will be ready to drive now. It's on open differentials. The glorious open differentials, which are not exactly what you want. So we should be able to export. Do we want high resolution textures for a collapsed livery? I guess. We've got weld breakable fixtures. That would make it completely unbreakable. No, we want this thing to actually have some crash damage, even if it's not as good as the vehicles originally from BeamNG. Yeah, there is. I thought it wasn't showing. It's because I like making all my cars blue, so it's hard to tell. Wow, this actually sounds good. Why has it got ESC? I feel sure it didn't have that. Don't know, is that off? I think ABS is like tied into that. This isn't bad. This isn't bad at all. Oof. I'm colliding with the ground. It's very soft and bouncy, but it's kind of supposed to be a rally car, so that's not the worst part. You do have to be in the right gear, because there's not a lot of gears, is it? Yeah, it's bouncy because it's supposed to be a rally car. Like, I don't hate this being bouncy, though, because you kind of expect that. It's supposed to filter out all kinds of dirt, roads, and whatever. You know what? This The only issue I'm noticing is the transmission. The brakes don't even feel that bad. Like, the brakes should really have done this in, but I guess because I've tuned them properly. Oh, I feel like that might have broken something. It doesn't understeer. Like, I feared it was going to understeer into a hedge every time I tried to take a corner. It is not doing that. The cornering is actually pretty balanced. I really like the sound of it. I wasn't expecting it to sound this good. I actually have the 0 to 60 test on this. So if I go hover over the map somewhere, there is a drag strip if I can find it. Wow. I found it surprisingly quickly. There's bits of this map that I didn't notice from before. Here is the drag strip, which we will be teleporting to. I mean, I feel like there's an easier way of doing it, but I like flying around. Flying around the map is fun. So, F7. I just realised this board, the F6 key, isn't attached to the board anymore. So that's a thing. Let's see how this accelerates. Now, in the top corner, you should see, there is the performance, you'll see there. Fairly decent power curve, which I worked on. On the right of the screen, you'll see there's some performance metrics. We have like 0 to 60, whatever speed you're at, to 0 miles per hour. So we can test this quickly. Yeah, it does, for lack of a better term, it does bog down. Yeah, so it does 0 to 60 actually in exactly the time it said it would. 5.1. I'm going to try going into manual mode to see if I can fix it. Not fix it, to see if I can get under 5. Yeah, it's just, the acceleration is hit by the fact that it doesn't really put the power down. Yeah, so 5.1, it does the exact acceleration you would expect. It seems to brake quite well, even with the drum brakes on the front. As I say, if this car was heavier, it would not be savable. But because it's fairly light, I was able to do something with it. Ooh, it's got pretty good turning, to be honest. Yeah, so let's just drive across this dirt. It feels good on the dirt. Like and this is on cross-ply tyres as well, might I add. This isn't even on modern tyres. They're from like the 1970s or whatever. You know what? I like it. I've built worse cars. I've built far more unpredictable, dangerous cars than this. It does like understeer a little under brakes, but that's a pretty minor complaint. And it's not overheating. That was like my biggest fear after building Bob the Brick. So yeah, I'll just take it. I'll take it off road a little after this, and then I'll call it a day for this stream. Lifting one of the front wheels. At least it's not lifting a rear wheel. Yeah, so I'll just finish this off when I've taken it on some dirt. Just because it's a rally car, I have to try some like dirt areas on the map. There are some of. So here's the quarry area. We'll give this a try. F7. Control R because I don't want to have broken the car. It does have really nice grip on the dirt as well. I can say that now. Not every car will grip, especially if it's on like racing slicks. Oof. You can hear the collision. Whee! Oh no! I got carried away. And in the water. Yeah. That's when I try and drive a car with this kind of speed. Oof. Yeah, I feel like, you know, people say Mustang drivers are bad. I feel like I'm driving a million times worse than they ever did. Yeah, I quite like what Wheel Kun has built. It could have done a much worse job than it did. Bit of understeer here, but you kind of expect that on the dirt. Yeah, I think it did want to swim. Both the car wanted to swim, and I'm not very good at driving. To be fair, I would be a little better with the wheel. But yeah, I'm a failure as a wheel streamer. I couldn't use a racing wheel. It's like the Xbox controller isn't the worst option. Using it with a keyboard wouldn't ever do this any kind of justice. Yeah. Believe me, I drive better in real life. But then in real life, I don't have a 300 horsepower rally car. My car is both heavier and less powerful. So yeah, you have to make do of what you get here to go quick. Well, the brakes were a little weak there. Well, I think it's just honestly I was travelling at such a high speed. Whee! I don't want to stop driving this. It's just so much fun to throw around. Whee! Let's jump! Ow! The thing is somewhat still going. If I node grabber it, I think I can still keep driving it. Whee! So far, we've had a decent character design from Wheel Kun, and actually a surprisingly decent car design. I will get Bob the Brick. Just as a one final thing for this stream, I will get Bob the Brick to show what Wheel Kun did before. I did give it less control over Bob the Brick than that current car. Wheel Kun had a lot more to do with that one. This, it has a dual clutch. This is loud. This is even louder. Like, this thing understeers, though. Like, look, you turn. It feels like you're turning and you're waiting for a different time zone to respond to your email asking to turn the car. That could no doubt be fixed with the tuning, but it's not fun because of the understeer. But otherwise, there's a lot going for this. Despite it being heavy, it does get a move on. The side character, yeah. And maybe because why not, I'm going to just get Boaty McBoatface. This is not a wheel car design, but I want to bring it out, I think. I may have messed with this, so I don't know if it really drives well anymore. It's Boaty McBoatface. This makes no noise. I need to tweak it, but yeah. This is when you make a proper interior, how it can look. It's got the most American interior that ever was. And it's front wheel drive. I do love Boaty McBoatface. It has less understeer than Bob the Brick somehow. Bob the Brick is probably one of the most understeery things I've ever built, and it's not even front wheel drive. I feel like this is deceptively quick though, because it makes no noise. And we are down at the quarry again. In Boaty McBoatface. Yeah, this is my kind of car. But no doubt, the other one was so much fun. The wheel car. What was it called? Car RS Frog Edition. This is definitely smoother though. Like you see, I designed this just to be really ultra smooth over bumps and stuff. And I think that shows here. Come on, accelerate. Use your turbo power. There we go. Yeah, I mean, this interior, it's like a very me thing. It's the interior is a me thing because look, it's like panoramic sunroofs are a thing now. You get these massive sunroofs on a car. That wasn't really a thing because this is 1985. So I did the next best thing and I just stuck 3 different sunroofs on it. So like you almost get the panoramic sunroof look. And we also have rear seats. So this is like, it's not listed in automation as a 7-seater, but yeah, this is like So wait, how many? There's 6, 8 seats, I guess, because there's 3 in the front. It's a bench seat. I'm really proud of this, but I took a long time doing it. For, what, 2 hours, less than 2 hours of work, the wheel car, I think, came out far better than it has any right to. How much power does this make? This makes, like, well, this makes 400-ish horsepower. That's more than I remember. This is, like, insanely powerful. Yeah, anyway, I'll be finishing for today. And so, this is the final result. I didn't do it on the stream, so I'm going to do it now. The blinding lights. The many blinding lights. And then there's nothing at the back, pretty much. So yeah, that's one thing we've got. And this does definitely take to off-road a little better than the Bob the Brick. In fact, it's better just about everywhere, despite the front drum brakes. So yeah, this is where I'm going to call it for today. Safe to say the optimal rally technology is not push-rod suspension. So I'm going to leave it here for today. And hopefully create another one of these because it was fun. So someday I will create another one. But for now, I'll say goodbye until another day.